WCLN 1170 Radio and Star Communications Channel 16 proudly present the We Should Know Show, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative. Now, here's your host, JW Simmons, as we consider closely what we should know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know is on there. I want to thank you for being with us today. It's Tuesday. Each and every Tuesday we come to you on Star Communications TV, WCLN Radio. We're looking forward today at the conversation we're having because it's about medicine. It's about something that affects everybody's life. And we're talking with Dr. Alex Huff. Dr. Huff, thank you for taking time. You are an extremely busy man. I've been following some news blurbs of things that's going on. And now I'm seeing a title that's called Huff Orthopedic Sports Medicine and Cape Fear Valley Health. I want to go ahead and open that melon, if you will, to start with. You've been here for quite a few years now in Clinton, and we've always known to go, if we need to go and find you, is find you on Beeman Street.
Right.
Now that's changing a little bit. As I understand, and you're moving over to Vance Street, but yet that's not all of the story. Help us understand what's going on with you and Huff Orthopedics.
Well, first let me tell you, it's been a whirlwind. It seems like the last 27 years here in Clinton have passed so quickly. I've raised my kids here, now we're empty nested, and we've grown our practice every year, year over year, even through, except maybe a couple of flat years during COVID, but year over year, we've grown our business by at least 10 or 15% every year. And as growth occurs, you start looking at other opportunities, and other opportunities start looking at us as well. And over the years, I've entertained a lot of different offers, if you will, from different entities to try to form a relationship, a working relationship. And as I've gotten older, some things have changed. I enjoy spending time with my patients. I enjoy honing my skills and focusing on the things that I'm really good at. Mm-hmm. And I like to do more of the things I'm really good at. And I like to find other doctors, other specialists to do some of the things that maybe I'm not as good at or not as experienced at. Mm-hmm. And over the years in developing these relationships, I've developed relationships with a lot of different doctors, a lot of different orthopedic specialists. And one thing's led to another, but basically I was approached about merging with Cape Fear Valley. And I thought that after we sat down for really over a course of about 3 years, having continued discussion about how it would work, what the future would look like in Sampson County, what the future would look like for my practice, things like that. And being able to settle on some things that I thought would work out mutually beneficial for everyone involved, including, most importantly, the patients, but also for us and for Cape Fear Valley. And so as of August the 1st, I became an employee at Cape Fear Valley. And that caused the need to move the office off campus, and we moved to Vance Street. And so we've leased that space for the next year or so while we're building a new building. We're building a new building at the corner of, right now it's going to be at the corner of Beaver Dam Drive and Faison Highway 403 here in Clinton. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a bright, new, shiny, big building that's going to be large enough to house multiple providers. And we're going to add some additional services. And that's going to be a great thing, I think, for the community to have a new location. In terms of my practice, I'm still going to be here available in Clinton. My goal from the beginning has always been to continue my career in Clinton for the next decade or longer if I can. And some of these decisions came about by looking at ways to be able to extend my career. Mm-hmm. Right now, as you know, we've been on the show many times before.
Absolutely.
And one of the major criticisms of my practice has been, we don't know if we're going to see him, because Dr. Huff, I may have an appointment at 2:00 and then I go at 2:00 and I don't see him. And where's Dr. Huff? Well, he's in the ER or he's in the operating room or something like that. And that is because of the fact that I've been on call. Basically, if I've been in Clinton, I've been on call. At the minimum, Monday through Thursday, I'm on call 7/24. And over the last 27 years or so, that has really weighed on my health, my psyche, and it's weighed a lot on my practice as well. And unfortunately, a lot of patients have had to be rescheduled or appointments have been missed because of that. now with this new affiliation with Cape Fear Valley, those days are gone, and I'll be able to have an appointment at 2:00. I'm going to see them at 2:00. And so there's a lot of advantages we can talk about through the show of doing this.
I think one of the things that strikes me, and you're exactly right, is, I would have been having you on maybe once a month, but it's hard to fit your schedule in because you're doing this service. And I look at it as almost giving of yourself to the community. And we're going to talk about some of those things. But the way you've got it set up, will that still allow you the time to be here and continue to be a neighbor, a friend, somebody that can recognize in the community?
Absolutely. In the past, I've only had appointments in the afternoon because I've been in the operating room basically from 7 until 1, and then hustle over to the office and try to see as many patients as I can that need me and get them back to the operating room. Now, without being on the unassigned call schedule, I'll be able to have morning appointments. I'll have a day dedicated to surgery, and I'll have days dedicated to just the office, so that if you have an appointment on that day at that time, Lord willing, unless something catastrophic occurs, I will be there at that time, and I'll be able to provide the services at maybe a more intimate level, especially with the patients that I've been seeing for years and years, and I'll be available for new patients that may need morning appointments, but most importantly, I'll be able to keep a schedule.
When we look at the new facility that is going to be built out here on 403 or close to 403, that area, will that house multiple disciplines of medicine, or will it be focused only on orthopedics?
It's going to be orthopedic surgery, but we'll have physical therapy in there as well. We'll have space for a lot of other things. We'll continue to do the durable medical equipment. We have pharmacy items available, but more importantly, we'll have more space than we've currently had, and we'll have space for multiple providers, including more orthopedic surgeons. What I'm most excited about is in the relationship with Cape Fear Valley, they have an orthopedic residency program, and so I'll be able to help mentor and teach and educate and share some of my 27 years of practical knowledge in orthopedic surgery with these young doctors. Already there are some that have expressed an interest in living and working and staying in Sampson County, and I'm excited about that.
In fact, I want to talk a little bit about Cape Fear Health Systems with the movement toward residency programs, with the educational solidification, the connection with Fort Liberty and these kinds of things. I'm hearing a lot of conversation, and there's a lot in print talking about how that has elevated Cape Fear Health Systems to the level of being maybe in that category futuristically of the UNC health system to Duke and that kind of thing. They're actually attracting almost a huge amount of energy there. Is that something that also kind of attracted you to that? You could feel that overwhelming amount of expertise?
Well, absolutely. I've always wanted to work with residents. I enjoy working with the residents at Sampson. I gave a lecture last week, as a matter of fact, on pediatric orthopedics. And so I enjoy that type of thing immensely. I enjoy talking to people and sharing some expertise. But when they came to me and told me that they were starting an orthopedic residency program, and in Fayetteville, they get wonderful education and opportunities to learn orthopedic surgery, largely from trauma, car accidents and things like that. What they were looking for was some community orthopedic surgery opportunities. In my practice, I've got a nice rural Eastern North Carolina practice. I see a plethora of people from infants to elderly, male, female, all different types of folks with common orthopedic practices, orthopedic conditions. And these residents will have an opportunity to see that at a more intimate level. And so that's one reason they look to me, and then that's one thing that's attracted me to them as well.
One of the things I want to talk about a little bit too is the geography of this. I mean, we're talking proximity to Fayetteville. We're talking a 4-lane direct shoot to Fayetteville. Maybe 35, 40 minutes you can be on site. A lot of folks is going to see this, I believe, as an advantage in the sense of seeking care, and especially if somebody needs to be referred, because you can actually now do referrals to Cape Fear Valley Hospital, which is really getting to be a very positive, should I say, name in the community around. Do you see that continuing to grow at Cape Fear and just a continual expansion of Cape Fear Valley?
I do. I've had conversation at length with Mike Nagowski and Dan Weatherly, the two gentlemen that head that organization, and right now, that organization is over $1 billion organization that manages multiple hospitals in the community. As an orthopedic surgeon, I can tell you this. I can speak specifically about that. Before they came to me for my practice, they went to Fayetteville Orthopedic Clinic. A lot of folks know Doctors Schaefer, McBrayer, Barnes, those guys in Fayetteville. They were the first to go on board. I was the next to go on board. But now they've also acquired Cape Fear Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, which is Dr. Broussard, Lowe, Flanagan, Newman, Bill Newman's cousin, that orthopedic group. And so, and they've also hired a few to help run the residency. There's going to be a total of more than about 16 orthopedic surgeons now through Sampson, Harnett, Hoke, and Cumberland counties that are all part of the same orthopedic group. So that gives me access immediately to all types of subspecialty referrals. If I need a hand surgeon, I can call Dr. Levine, who's a Mayo Clinic trained hand surgeon from Rochester that's down here running the hand program at the new residency program. I can get them in immediately, things like that. So there's a lot of advantages to it for me and for our patients. And
that conduit for contacts and referral, especially in our area, is a critical asset.
It is. It really is, because as you know, I love Sampson County. I love living in Clinton. It's just been a wonderful place to raise my family, and I'm so proud to call myself a local Clinton native. The only disadvantages are access to medical care. I mean, it's a tough problem, but it helps when you're part of an organization that has immediate access to these specialists so that we can make these transfers very quickly.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and dig a little bit deeper into this. And then I've got so many things I want to talk to you about today. It's been quite a while since I've had you on, so I've built up a whole profile here of things I want to touch on. But I want to follow this thread for a moment because there's so much there to discuss. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're talking with Dr. Alex Huff. You know him. His name's very familiar here. There's some great expansion going on. It's going to be positive impact on your health. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Computer viruses, malware, and ransomware are out there. They're dangerous, and they can steal your identity and damage your equipment. Star Communications is now offering Protect IQ. The service adds an extra layer of protection to every device connected to your network, working quietly in the background. Star can help you protect yourself from the inside out with Protect IQ. Call Star today and take advantage of this free service when you sign up for whole home Wi-Fi with Star Communications.
How can your friend save you money? It's easy. Refer a relative, coworker, neighbor, or friend to Star Communications. Friend signs up for high-speed internet service. Friend's new account is confirmed. Friend gives your name to our service representative as the one who referred them to Star. You receive a $30 internet credit. It's just that simple. And even better, receive a $30 internet credit for every referral that results in a new confirmed account. High-speed internet from Star Communications. Refer a friend today.
Welcome back, folks. We Should Know's on there. Dr. Alex Huff is our guest today. We want to thank you for being with us. You might want to call a friend for the next couple of parts of the show. Dr. Huff is making some moves here that's going to be positive for us in this area and the connection with Cape Fear Valley Health System. I want to follow that thread. I just want to talk about that some more, Dr. Huff. It's amazing how the growth and the trajectory of Cape Fear Valley Health has moved here. It seems to be in the past 5 or 6 years. Right. It's just really exploding. So you're now connected with that organization, but you're not leaving the community. Not only that, you're investing in the community, building a brand new facility here. And I want to stress that because I know the media has covered that you're moving to a place on Vance Street. Mm-hmm. That's a temporary move until you get to this new facility that'll be state-of-the-art equipment. Let's talk about that a bit, and then I want to kind of segue back to some of the Cape Fear Valley opportunities that will be available through your connectivity there.
Well, we've got HN Carr building that building, and we worked with an architect out of Raleigh who has built a lot of the family practice facilities in the Briar Creek area for Duke in Raleigh. And so it's going to be a beautiful building, state of the art, all brand new equipment. Nothing is being retained. Everything is being replaced. And so that's a wonderful thing. We're going to have over twice as much space as what we've been used to having in terms of clinical space. So we'll be able to house 4 doctors in there at a time if we need to, with one of the backups. If you've been to my office, kind of chuckle about this, has been the backup of X-ray. You know, you can only X-ray one person at a time. Right. We're going to have double X-ray bays, a lot of newer technology. It's going to be a great place, and we'll be able to do in-house physical therapy as well. So that's going to be great.
How has technology, just kind of help us understand, when you say technology, the advancement in technology and the currency in technology, making it that you have the current technology, how critically important is that to you as a physician, and how important should we understand it is for us as patients?
Well, I'll tell you, throughout my career, one of the things I worried about when I came to a small rural place, and I chose, to come here, and I've loved it here. It's been a wonderful opportunity for me. But I didn't want to fall by the wayside or fall behind in terms of skills. And I can just tell you that since I've been in Sampson County, I've taken it upon myself to become board certified in sports medicine. Mm-hmm. That was something that when that became available, I started that. So I would encourage patients to, if they have concerns about their doctors, any of your doctors, you can go to the web and you can go to the American Association of Medical Specialties, and you can type in your doctor's name, and you can see what they're actually board certified in. I think board certification is very important. And I'm board certified, one of less than 2,000 last time I checked in the country, board certified in orthopedic surgery and orthopedic sports medicine. So that's an important thing. But anyway, so I don't want to be left behind in terms of technology. So we're constantly looking. With this new association with Cape Fear Valley, I'll have access to robotic surgery if I think that that's best for our patients. I've already been through 2 different certification classes for that. There are robotics that are available in the Cape Fear Valley system that may be necessary for some types of joint replacement surgery. And it's probably too detailed to get into the weeds there, but there are some cases that require some of the more intricate measurements that can be made via a computerized robot than could be made with just your hands.
Just simply because of the accuracy and detail necessary.
Yes. And there's some obstacles you may need to get around a certain anatomic variant or something. And so that's when it's important to have these really precise MRI scans and CT scans that data can be inputted or imported into the robot, and using a combination of that data and the surgeon's skill, come up with a plan that's going to be customized for that patient. So I'll have the opportunity to do that. Other types of higher level of skill imaging services, I'll have availability to me, and of course the individual medical specialties.
Do you see, and of course you've been, like you pointed out, and when we started talking a while ago, you've been in this business for quite some time. Right. Do you see the medical, I'll use the word industry, the medical industry as a whole becoming more and more regionally consolidated to ensure that they're able to meet cost factors and better serve their patients? I grew up in a world, and to some degree you did, when you had all of these small clinics everywhere and small hospitals here and there. But now it seems if you're not affiliated in some way, the patient ends up losing a potential of being able to get to that specific specialist. Is that where we're headed statewide?
Absolutely. I mean, you can draw that. You can see what's happened in every other industry. You can name the grocery store industry. You can consumer products. The mom and pop stores, and then moving on to Walmart, and then Costco, now Amazon. You can see car dealerships from the single owner car dealerships now to the big conglomerates where Hendricks Motors has got, 35 dealerships up and down the East Coast. So things consolidate like that. And the same thing happens in medicine. There's cost incentives that, for instance, this high technology, not everyone needs it. Right. Okay. So in a small community, if only one or two people need a PET scan every month, there's no need to have a PET scanner in that community. But it may be that you need to get that patient to have this type of scan. Mm-hmm. And so you can, by being affiliated with a larger organization, you can make that happen easier, quicker. But the days of simple antibiotics and simple diagnostic testing like X-rays and even CT scans. Now it's moved, of course, MRI. Everybody wants an MRI, but now there's MR angiography. There's other types of MRI scans that are enhanced with different medications, if you will, that allow even more precise diagnosis and treatment. And so having access to those is important. And I think it's important for every individual in our community to have access to that, regardless of whether you live in Ingold or in Spivey's Corner or in Clinton or in Fayetteville or in Raleigh. I think that every patient should have the same access to these types of technologies. One
of the things that strikes me is, as you were talking, and it just popped up here, is that, and again, I'm showing my age, I guess, but I recall if you had an issue, you would have, quote, an X-ray, but then they would give you these large pieces of paper that you could hold up to the light and you could see.
Right.
But you would take that. The doc would say, okay, you need to take this. I've called and they can see you next week or week after, but you need to give this to them. It's so much quicker in the sense of transfer. There's just no relationship.
Yeah.
We can't be caught in that time when we're in a time now that completely changes that, and it's changing radically yearly. At least every 4 or 5 years, it changes radically.
Well, one of the advantages to this, you just jarred my memory, but one of the advantages is, like you said, with those X-rays, those were on cellulite film that you could put in an envelope and take it to the next doctor.
Yeah.
Now, I can get on my phone. I can get onto Epic, which is the 70% of the hospitals. In fact, just about all the major hospitals in the United States are on this same healthcare system. If anyone's ever been treated at any major hospital, New Hanover, UNC, Duke, Wake, Cape Fear Valley, they have access to what's called MyChart, an app you download on your phone.
Absolutely.
And it will have those X-rays. And so those X-rays are digitally imported into that app. And so when you go see another specialist in another town, or let's just say that, God forbid, you're in a car accident on vacation in Florida and they take you into the ER there, if you've got access, if you've ever been seen by one of those, if you have access to MyChart, your family or your doctor can download your files and know immediately everything about your medical history. And that's just amazing. Talking about those X-rays, there's no need to transport those films anywhere because electronically they're going to be ready to download, ready to view by the next treating physician.
That piece,
and we're part of that.
That piece of technology, I want to drill into that just for a moment. It has become so detailed and clear that now you could look at that, as you said, and the patient can too. They can go on MyChart and pull it up.
Right.
But as they look at it, it's amazing at the detail I have seen in some of those pictures that it just kind of blows your mind. How can this even be happening?
Right.
But this is still part of that curve. We're still growing, and that's going to unfold.
Correct. There was a time when I thought I'd never get rid of my house phone, right?
Right.
But hey, guess what? Now everyone uses their cell phone.
Absolutely.
And so technology changes, and we got to change along with it. And our community is blessed to have a wonderful hospital like Sampson Regional, and it serves a wonderful purpose. And it's going to be there forever. I don't see that changing at all. But I think it is important that we continue to develop relationships with larger organizations so that we can provide the best of care for our citizens. I can't do everything. You know,
no, exactly.
I've kind of been a jack of all trade. I like to say, some people say master of none. I like to say I'm a master of the knee.
Yeah.
I can tell you, after 16,000 operations, I've done, considerably more operations than the average orthopedic surgeon. I've got a tremendous amount of experience, and we have wonderful results, and that can be compared with anybody's. So I'm finally realizing in my older age that we've done a very good job, and we continue to do a very good job. But still, there's things that I'm not the best at, and I recognize that, and I want the best for my patients. I'm a conscious-driven guy. I want my patients to do well, and if I'm not the person for that job, I now have access immediately to people that can help them.
That's been part of your mantra for decades. That you want to make sure you don't mind transferring someone. You don't mind saying, I've got somebody that probably can look at this and do a much better.
Yeah, there's plenty to do.
A lot of folks don't want to do that.
Right. There's plenty to do. I've been blessed with never having a shortage of patients, I look at the schedule and I'm like, wow, we got to, so I've been blessed to have an abundance of patients, and it's just been truly a wonderful experience, over the last 27 years. The fact is that I can't do it forever. And so you've got to develop some type of strategy, to carry the practice forward. I don't want to see what has happened to so many of my colleagues when they get to their 60s, they get in their mid 60s and they just kind of close their practice. And to me, that would just be a sad thing for the citizens here.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back, and we're going to get into some things that is happening around here with sports, back to school stuff, and cover some of those angles. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're talking with Dr. Alex Huff. We're going to continue this conversation in another way, dealing with things happening today right here in this community. We'll be back in a moment.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
You're out for an evening on the town. Finally a chance to relax and forget that you left your front door completely unlocked. Fortunately, you just installed a security system from Star Communications. With just your cell phone, you can check on your house, lock it down, light it up, and get back to relaxing.
You forgot to put Buster in his crate.
Unfortunately, we can't help with that. Security and automation from Star Communications. Call today to find out more.
Welcome to Cork and Brew Roseboro, where you can enjoy your favorite coffee, fraps, smoothies, bakery items, sandwiches, and select beer and wines while reconnecting with friends and family. Sit down and enjoy the experience. Come on by and give us a try.
The average American household has 17 devices connected to the internet. With more and more devices able to get online, you may need to increase your internet speed. Call Star Communications today and let us help you select the package that's right for you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us today. We're talking medicine today. We're talking some of the technological advancements, some of the movers and shakers in that world. And Dr. Alex Huff is with us. He is one of those movers and shakers. Dr. Huff, you've been here a long time. We've alluded to this, and we've talked a lot on break. A lot of folks probably don't understand, but I guess they do. You and I both don't mind talking.
Right.
So the thing we've talked about on break a lot is your contributions in the community, and particularly as it relates to back to school and the kinds of accidents that you see. You've always been engaged with the sports people here, the coaches and others. Will this move that you're making and the connectivity with Cape Fear, how will that work with that? Will you still have time to do some of the community things that you I've talked about on this show many times that you enjoy doing and you have a passion for?
Well, I'll tell you, I told you a few minutes ago, we've had these conversations over the last 3 years, and so there are some things that I'm not budging on and I don't want to budge on. And one of those is my involvement in the community. I don't think I hate to say always or never, but I don't think I've ever not stepped up and done something when asked to do it in the community. It may be small, but I've done something. But most recently, when people want you to help them with their sports physicals, we go out and do that. We just went out to Lakewood and did the football players out there. We were at Mint's Academy just this past week. So most of the coaches have me on, I have them on speed dial. They got my contacts, all that kind of thing. So we text back and forth. I take pride in the fact that if they text me, I'm going to see that guy the next day, the first opportunity. We try to help the local schools. I try to get involved with sponsorships and stuff when we can. We're always available to go out and do those physicals. And I've had that conversation with Cape Fear Valley administration that I want to continue that. And so that's not going to change. That's an important part of what we do. And everyone brings different talents to the community, right? I mean, whether you're a mechanic or a baker or a teacher or whatever you do, as an orthopedic sports medicine doctor, the talent I bring is evaluating and treating these injured athletes. And my goal is to get them back on the field as soon as possible. Nothing hurts me worse than to see a rising senior get hurt at the early part of the football season or early part of the basketball season and not be able to compete that senior year. We do everything we can to keep them on the field. And the coaches, I think, know that and appreciate that. Of course, within the boundaries of safety, you know, sometimes you can't. I just had a kid I just saw just recently that I had to let him know that he wasn't going to be able to play this year. And that's a tough thing for a senior. You know, it's tough on the parents, it's tough on the kids, but there is more to the children's lives than just the athletic playing field, you know. So, but anyway, to answer your question, we're going to stay involved with the community as much as we can.
Do you have the opportunity to engage in the community and talk to some of the students that maybe is graduating, that are looking at careers, and let them know the importance of considering the healthcare profession? It seems that that's a particular area that I know the community college is involved in.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're fixing to build a new facility out there with nursing and so forth. This is going to be about $18 million. So I could say Dr. Starling's very much involved in that. The reality is, though, folks like you from a position that's been there and actually doing the job really can kind of resonate with folks.
Well, nothing makes me more proud than to follow up on kids. I mean, as we get older, we lose the concept of time, right? I mean, I may see someone in the community or in the news or on Facebook or something like that. And I remember that girl, she rotated through my office, and I go and look and see that she's now a physician assistant or a medical doctor or something like that. But I've had probably at least a half dozen kids that have come through my office in rotations and things like that, and then get into PA school or get into medical school. And it's very rewarding to follow them through their residency and as they start their career. I just got an email yesterday from a girl I haven't met yet, but she's a Methodist student, and she's going to be rotating with me for the next month, doing orthopedic sports medicine. And so my affiliation with Methodist University, there's a new medical school. A lot of folks may not have caught that, but it's the first MD medical school in our state since East Carolina in late 70s. So this is an MD, a traditional MD program that started at Methodist University in conjunction with Cape Fear Valley Health. And so I'm proud to be a part of that, and that's going to be an exciting time. But just another reason to extend this working opportunity with Cape Fear Valley.
In fact, I had that as one of my notes is to talk about that, solidifying that relationship with Cape Fear and Methodist University. When that happened, there was a blurb. It was like some things in the paper and then it went away. But what has happened since that came out in the media is that really has started solidifying, and I think Cape Fear started seeing the advantage of having some of those folks kind of work into their system. So will you be working with some of those students literally in the Clinton office and at Cape Fear?
Yes, we're going to provide opportunities for them in our office to do their rotations. Now, so they'll do their first 2 years, which is mostly book work on campus at Methodist University. And then if you haven't driven down Owen Drive in Fayetteville recently, there's cranes and construction going on everywhere. A new building has been constructed there for the medical school. And then, so the kids will do their last 2 years, their clinical rotations through the Cape Fear Valley Health System. Some of those kids will have the opportunity to rotate here with me if they'd like to do an orthopedic elective rotation. And then more importantly, beyond medical school, the next step after medical school, of course, there's 4 years of college and then 4 years of med school. And then orthopedic surgery residency is 5 years. And then you can do another year of training called a fellowship, which I did, 6 years of training. But during that 5 years of residency training, those residents, there's 4 a year, and those students will have an opportunity to rotate with me through my office and learn general orthopedic surgery.
Do we have enough talented students that can continue to feel the need and demand for things like you do and other physicians? Does the statistics say there are more and more people signing up? Because what you just described, somebody's going to hear that and go, well, how many years was that? 6? Was it 8? What? But you just described a long journey to get to that peak of where you are.
Well, the amount of time between kindergarten and 12th grade, the exact same amount of time for me between starting college and finishing my fellowship. So it's a long time, there's no question, but it needs to be because there's an awful lot to learn, and we certainly don't want to cut any corners on that. We do need more orthopedic surgeons. The American Academy of Orthopedic Surgery tells me a couple of things. You can go to their website, and any common person can research this on their own telephone right now. The average age of an orthopedic surgeon in the United States is 55. Okay? Only 2% of board certified orthopedic doctors practice in communities under 100,000 people.
Wow.
Clinton, Sampson County is 63,000. You know, Clinton is 9,500. So we're lucky to have orthopedic surgeons here. And I've certainly enjoyed everything that I've done here for the last 27 years. I want to continue it. One of the reasons I'm doing this, because I don't want to stop when I'm 60. I don't want to stop when I'm 65. I want to do it as long as the Lord's going to let me do it. I'll do it in a reduced capacity. I may not be the person primarily heading up the surgery. I may be on the other side of the table assisting a younger doctor, you know, and sharing some of my expertise with him. That's my goal. So I want to continue to do it as long as I can, which is one reason I'm forming this relationship.
Well, and for people that know you like I know you, you would never be happy in a rocking chair on a porch.
No.
That's not going to work. I'm going to tell you that.
Listen, I'm just waiting for the show to start this morning. I'm twiddling my thumbs waiting. I didn't want to schedule any patients because I didn't want to be late. But I enjoy working. I love what I do.
Well, the other thing is, and we're going to explore this a little bit more, but when we're looking at students and we're talking about students, I see your connection there as being fruitful in a couple of ways. One of them you just described very vividly is kind of giving that person the spark, the idea that I might want to do that. I might want to be that guy. So your role model and folks like you that role model in the community, not just in the office, that's willing to step out of those bounds is hugely significant for this community and rural communities throughout the state and countries, as far as that goes. The other thing is that when we look at the whole rural healthcare system, it is morphing to something else. Some places more quickly or more radical. Do you see this area that you've lived in for years, is it moving on that trajectory fast enough? Does their policymakers need to step back and say, hey, we need to help make this move a little faster?
Right. It's going to happen. It's a combination of both, but it's going to happen. Things have happened in my career. In 27 years here in Clinton, you remember, it used to be that when we went to the ER was staffed by the local family physicians. Absolutely. Now we've got ER specialists, which is great. It used to be when you got admitted to the hospital with pneumonia or something like that, your family doctor admitted you to the hospital and made rounds on you in the morning and in the evening. And then that went away and that was replaced by a new specialty called hospitalist. Okay. There used to not be a hospitalist, but now there are. So by the same token, things are continuing to evolve and change. And the expectations for excellent care, we're constantly raising the bar, if you will. The bar is raising for what's considered the standard of care and what should be patient outcomes should be the focus. And as we look at patient outcomes, they all need to have the same outcomes regardless of where they live. And I think that's important. So that's going to continue to drive the evolution of both hospitals and physicians' practices.
And I think one of the things that is reasonably clear, at least for me, is in your commentary, is that this is, yes, partly driven in a huge part by the medical profession, but when I look at it and I'm just processing a lot of what you've talked to us today about, this is something that all parts of our community, no matter what business you're in, no matter what organization you represent, no matter what board you serve on, needs to recognize this evolution occurring and engaged. I think if I had in this segment to kind of close out and go to break here, I would say what I want you to do is to think about one word, and that's engagement, as it relates to what you just talked about, which was engagement in the community with sports and sports medicine, engagement in the community, understanding what doctors, what facilities we have available, and probably as critically important as anything is Methodist University in Cape Fear Valley. You know, that's critical asset. So we're going to go to break. We're going to come back, and I think we're going to probably be on the last part. So we've got a lot to talk about. We'll be back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. Call a friend.
Experiencing slow internet? If you have a fast internet package, the problem is most likely your wireless router. With more devices using Wi-Fi, your wireless router may not be able to deliver the speed and coverage you need. We now have the leading solution to enhance your internet experience. Using small devices in a mesh network, these Wi-Fi appliances cover just about any size home so that all your devices can operate to their fullest potential. Whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Get the most out of your internet connection.
If you run a business, you need sales. To get sales, you need customers. To get customers, you need exposure. Let our team of experts craft and produce the perfect video ad to reach your intended audience while making the most of your advertising dollars. Call 1-800-706-6538 or visit starcom.net to contact our Star Communications production team and get your business moving to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're coming up on the last part of the show today. The name of the show is We Should Know. My name is JW Simmons. I'm your host. I want to thank you for being with us. Also, remind you, this is our 14th year on air, 14th year. And I couldn't think of anyone right now that I'd rather share that with than Dr. Alex Huff, who has been here quite a few years. And actually, Dr. Huff, you've been kind of part of this show as a supporter and sponsor for the majority of the years we've been on the air. So you've recognized the importance of us trying to inform and educate people. You have been doing that as a doctor in the communities, and we just alluded to some work you do with the sports medicine here, literally with coaches and teachers and folks that are involved in athletics. You've been there for them all these years. We've talked a lot about this transition, this morphing that you're going through connected with Cape Fear health systems. And it's actually a message. It's almost, off air we were talking about, it's almost like a message for everybody in rural communities to understand of connectivity and how those conduits have got to be solidified, and the sooner the better. So I want to kind of pick it up from there. You've got some things going on in the community you want to mention. So I'm just going to try to tie as much as we can this last part together.
All right. Well, I'll tell you real quick, stepped out this morning, a little crispness in the air, not as humid as it has been. And what does that bring to mind for me? Football season.
Absolutely.
Okay. So these guys have been back hard at work for the last few weeks, getting their practices in, running their laps, doing their push-ups and all that kind of thing. And then going through finally contact drills, which unfortunately brings injuries. But the pigskin jamboree is Friday. This Friday. And so, we're involved with that. We're involved with the coaches luncheon in Roseboro at the steakhouse there, and I get a chance to mingle with some of the coaches and build on some of the relationships we've got, but, and let them know that we're here and available for them. If they need us, like I said, they've got my phone number. Most of them do, and they can text me or call me anytime, and I'll be glad to help them with their kids. But keeping those kids on the field and, supporting your, local high school, your county schools, and your city school, of course. We're fortunate to have some really talented players and talented coaches in our area.
The big thing in messaging that is that the activities and things that's going on in our communities is just going to continue. We've got a lot of very talented folks bringing things into the community in different areas of expertise. The thing that you have shared with us today, and I want to kind of kind of tie this thread back in here is that you're literally talking about bringing economic development into our community with the building of a multi-million-dollar facility out here. And not only that, but the technology piece is going to be tremendous. And this is happening. And I would just suggest that maybe, and I think we've done that in our conversation, talk about how these connectivity pieces is critically important. And it's been gateways for folks that no matter what age you are, whether you're in your senior years, orthopedics is critically important. Whether you're at a young age and it's sports medicine, critically important. But the piece that you're bringing is now's the time for us as people in the community to step up and say, where is a part of what we're doing that we can connect with something larger than we are, that we can offer a pathway? We do it with roads. Why can't we do it with professions?
Yeah, you alluded to it a few minutes ago. It used to be a kind of a treacherous run on a 2-lane highway between here and Cumberland County. And now it's set your cruise control. You've got a protected median in between and boom, you're there in no time. So, and the same thing's happened in medicine. It's happened in my practice. When I first started, I had 4 employees and myself, and if we saw 15 people in a day, we thought we were doing something. And now I look at my schedule, I pull up my Epic on my phone, look at my app, we got 94 on the schedule today or whatever. Wow. So it's just been a wonderful journey. When I first came here, they'd never done an ACL reconstruction at our hospital. They'd never done a shoulder arthroscopy at our hospital. Never done an arthroscopic rotator cuff repair. Never done a shoulder replacement, reverse shoulder replacement, partial knee replacement, revision knee replacement. All of these things had never been done in Sampson County before I came. And now, over 16,000 operations later, we're doing all of that and more. And it makes me feel really proud to know that we've been able to do that. In the same token, we've also developed relationships with providers all over Eastern North Carolina and strong relationships. And now with my associate with Cape Fear Valley, I've got, like I said, immediate access to wonderfully trained and fellowship trained subspecialists. In orthopedics now, you call Raleigh Orthopedic Clinic or somebody make an appointment. Do you want to be seen for your shoulder, your elbow, your ankle, your foot, your knee? What? Because we've got someone for that. I'll have access to things like that as well now. And so that's going to be a wonderful thing. Orthopedics is getting more and more subspecialized. There was a time when the general surgeons fixed your broken hips. That was 40 years ago. Now, the technology has advanced so much, the implants, the methods of surgery, things like that have just changed so much. It used to be when I first came here, if I did a knee replacement, we admitted you to the hospital on Monday, you went home on Thursday.
Wow.
Now we do the surgery on Monday morning at 7:30 and you're at your house at 1:00. So we do them outpatient now. I presented that data at a meeting in South Carolina with one of the students from Campbell that I've been working with that's now doing his residency at WOMAC, Cape Fear Valley. We looked at 300 outpatient total knees. We did our first outpatient total knee replacement in January of 2019. So that's been amazing. But my emphasis here in this part of the conversation, just on the advances that are taking place in medicine and how we've got to grasp those and take advantage of those because we don't want to get left behind.
And the beauty of it is that if I can get this in before we have to close today, is the advancements with AI, alternative intelligence, the advancements with technology. I know now a lot of docs, as you said, you take your phone out and you push a button and you're talking to your doctor. Is that something that is now current and will just be advanced in the future, or is that something that we should look at as future possibility?
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm going through a learning curve right now. That's why we've had to cut our schedule way back over the last couple of weeks in my transition. And we're going to slowly ramp it back up because I'm learning too, but I'm forcing myself. But for the first time in my career, absolutely no paper. No paper. Now, right now, new patients are having to fill out a couple of forms, but that's going to come to an end in the next couple of weeks. But it's going to be completely paperless through the entire process, not even a transaction record or a bill that you take to the desk to check out.
Right.
Everything done electronically, everything done completely paperless. So AI and these other types of things, they're never going to take the place of your physical interaction. Sure. As an orthopedic surgeon, it may be with some doctors, but it's still going to require an orthopedic surgeon to perform the procedures.
Sure.
And so it's not going to replace me in my lifetime, I don't think. But AI is moving rapidly and is going to serve so much to help generate the medical record.
I think one of the things that struck me in a conversation in a different profession a while back was this idea: is this something that we can just say, we're not going there, or we already there? Now we just have to modify to make sure we utilize it.
Yeah, you better say you're already there and you're going to modify it and you're going to ride that train because it's coming. You have to move forward with technology and advancements, or else you get left behind. So.
The world as we know it, with just diagnostics and so forth, does that also depend significantly on the technology, computer, AI world of information and speed of information? I've been doing a lot of, it just blows my brain here, but I've been doing a lot of stuff looking at some of these projected information pieces, and AI is just the beginning.
Oh yeah. There's tremendous opportunities for someone out there way smarter than me to take advantage of some of that. But AI is coming. Just the entire cloud-based medical record system is amazing. Using GPS satellite technology to guide cuts that are made in the operating room, using robotic technology, those types of things. All of this is coming, and I'm excited about that kind of thing, and I want to be a part of that. I don't want to be left behind that. I'm not going to be the last person with a landline, like I said.
Absolutely.
Telephone. At some point, you've got to move forward, and this. My opportunity that I've had and been given graciously from Cape Fear Valley to come aboard with them is going to help me, and in turn help the community and help my patients, because I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here as long as the Lord allows me to remain healthy enough to be of benefit to the community. I'm going to stay here that long and help. Like I said, I see the evolution of my practice moving from maybe, instead of me being the primary surgeon on your case, maybe 5 years from now, I'm on the other side of the table helping a new young orthopedic surgeon and sharing some of my expertise with him.
Well, what a wealth of knowledge and understanding that would be to just have somebody like you as in an advisory capacity to help people like me and others to thread that needle, to say, should I go here? Should I go there? Is this something I really want to look at? The idea that you have the capability of explaining that, I think, says a lot to the profession going forward.
But the relationships I've had with the patients and the opportunity to see new patients is just an unbelievable privilege that I do not take for granted. And I really enjoy that. And every day when I get up, I'm invigorated with the desire to see new patients and help share what I know. I tell my wife I do one thing well, and that's evaluate orthopedic surgical problems. And I like making the complicated problems seem more simple and relating with patients and things like that. I'm driven by that type of thing. It's very exciting. And I think that this move I'm making is just going to allow me to be able to do that in a more efficient capacity with a higher level of technology.
Got about 20 seconds left. I'm going to let you use that for wrap up, and then we're going to go to close.
Well, JW, let me tell you, I'm proud of the times that we've had together. I've really enjoyed these conversations we've had over the years. You're a forward-thinking gentleman, and you always have been, and I've appreciated that. I just want the citizens of our community to know that I'm not going anywhere despite anything that they've heard. I'm not retiring. I'm in fact growing, and they will see it and can be a part of it. And I'm happy and privileged to be able to care for them.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know if you hadn't seen him, you're looking at Dr. Alex Huff. He's been with us numerous times. You've been a key asset on this show for 14 plus years now. And we look forward to having you back again to kind of giving us one of those continuous updates. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. And we'll see you again next week on Tuesdays. And as always, may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host JW Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.